Okay, we may get started.
Okay. So this is not an AA meeting. I think we're reading from the chapter How It Works. So I thought we could just continue that. We left it off after the three pertinent ideas. So that's
Okay, we may get started.
oh, okay.
Yes, Martin, yeah?
Yeah, sorry. That was a technical thing. So right after the three pertinent ideas on page 60, um, being convinced. Being convinced we were at step 3, which is that we decided to turn our will and our life over to God as we understood him. Just what do we mean by that, and just what do we do? The first requirement is that we be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. On that basis, we are almost always in collision with something or somebody, even though our motives are good.
Hey, Martin, for a second, can I just say something?
Hmm?
He's talking he's talking about the basis of self-reliance. Now, what is that which is relying on self is not self. So we are the question mark, yes, before these statements. So right there it said, on that basis, what basis? On the basis of self-will, running the show. Yeah. So basically, who's on the basis of self-will? It's not self, it's us. Yeah. Yeah. I just want to throw in there that in there. Thank you.
Great. Most people try to live by self-propulsion. Each person is like an actor who wants to run the whole show. He's forever trying to arrange the lights, the ballet, the scenery, and the rest of the players in his own way. If his arrangements would only stay put, if only people would do as he wished, the show would be great. Everybody, including himself, would be pleased. Life would be wonderful. In trying to make these arrangements, our actor may sometimes be quite virtuous. He may be kind, considerate, patient, generous, even modest and self-sacrificing. On the other hand, he may be mean, egotistical, selfish, and dishonest. But as with most humans, he's more likely to have varied traits. What usually happens? The show doesn't come off very well. He begins to think life doesn't treat him right. He decides to exert himself more. He becomes, on the next occasion, still more demanding or gracious, as the case may be. Still, the play does not suit him. Admitting he may be somewhat at fault, he's sure that other people are more to blame. He becomes angry, indignant, self-pitying. What is his basic trouble? Is he not really a self-seeker even when trying to be kind? Is he not a victim of the delusion that he can wrest satisfaction and happiness out of this world if he only manages well? It is not evident to all the rest of the players that these are the things he wants. And do not his actions make each of them wish to retaliate, snatching all they can get out of the show? Is he not, even in his best moments, a producer of confusion rather than harmony? You want me to keep going?
No, let's just stop there and maybe we'll start again. All right.
Okay.
I don't want to lose the thread. Well, welcome everyone. This is not an AA meeting. This is just a share. Uh, and the view that we're sharing is based on the idea that the exact nature of the wrong, that which has defeated us, is foreign to us. Therefore, we can actually be free from it. If it's you, you're going to try to be free as it, and that's truly the bondage of self. Yes, truly. Yeah, it's very simple. I'll say it again. They point out in the big book that what has defeated us is self. What we're saying is self is foreign to us. Yeah. And I'm going to read exactly what Martin just read with that sort of attitude and outlook. Yeah. So here, being convinced we were at step 3. Convinced of what? Well, the first 2 steps, but the 3 pertinent steps here, that we were alcoholic and could not manage our own lives. Just sit here right now. And are you convinced of that fact? It's a fact, probably, in your life, Are you convinced of it? It being a fact is not the point. It's, are you convinced that it's a fact? Because you can live as if it's not a fact in a state of denial for quite a while. Yeah, but uh, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism. Yeah, then and now. Yeah, then and now. Just because you're sober doesn't mean your managerial quality. Yeah, yeah. Because he's going to explain it in a while. So just and then that God could and would if he was sought. Call it the spirit, Buddha nature, you know, good orderly direction, whatever. If you have a problem with the name, forget the name. Yeah. 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 So being convinced, one definition is to believe with certainty. There may be more, so we may ask Kathy for other ones, but let's just go with the one I read that made sense to me, which is to believe with certainty. So usually life is the great convincer, isn't it? Yeah. So hopefully life has taught us to believe with certainty these three pertinent ideas. Yeah. If not, you're going to get a couple of rounds with life again, probably. So we were being convinced we were at step three, which is that we decided to turn our will and our life over to God as we understood him. Why? It's a very interesting thing because it doesn't say we're going to now turn our will and life over to this power because there's a little hitch. You're under something else's control. Yeah. And obviously, if you've been under that control for a while, you know it's not listening to you. So you can say all you want about I've turned my will and life over to the care of higher power. It's in if it's not in your possession, there's no power there. Yeah. So we're making a decision based on the recognition that no human power, including ourselves, could subdue this situation. Yeah. So we're now asking for something greater than that which has dominance over us to enter our lives. Yeah, so it's a decision, and that's the third step. And then we launch onto a course of action, which is the meat of the program, 4 through 9, the action steps. So the first requirement is that we be convinced. Oh, he goes here. God as we understood him. Just what do we mean? Oh, being convinced we were at step three, which is that we decided to turn our will and life over to God as we understood him, or something greater than self, I think it says in the third step, right? Yeah. We're going to turn our will and life over to something greater than self. Yeah. Exactly. That's the new employer. And the greater than self is the old employer. Yeah. Just what do we mean by that? And just what do we do? I mean, that's a pretty damn comprehensive uh, statement. The first requirement is that we be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. So many of us, there is a first requirement is not drinking. Yeah. But really, in the act of recovery, the first requirement is the third step. Yeah, really. The first requirement is that we be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. I hope we have, yeah? You've been calling it your will, but just switch it with self. And yeah, it's a shared defeat, isn't it? That's why we recognize others who have been defeated because they've been defeated by the same thing. And it wasn't you. Steve's defeat wasn't produced by Paul, yeah? Steve and Paul got defeated by the same thing. This is language. It's not a thing. Yeah. It's an activity or a basis. All right. So the first requirement is that we be convinced that any life run on self will can hardly be a success. Is it saying run on your will? No. It would have said any life run on our will can hardly be a success if it was ours. But self is something else, yeah? Wouldn't it have said any life run on our will would hardly be can hardly be a success? But self has run many wills, hasn't it? Did you feel like you really wanted that drink? No, but you took the drink. Yes. Yeah. Something went against your will and inserted its will. Self. Yes. It's just I'm trying to get it so obvious because this is how I've got a sense of lasting freedom, was seeing that which has defeated me wasn't me. And also it brought the condition of not regretting the past nor shutting the door on it, because I stopped calling myself to be the doer of all those horrendous things I did. And this wasn't a way of bypassing responsibility. It was taking responsibility, and I was led to the recognition of what truly defeated me after I took responsibility. Yeah. I believe there is another wave in recovery that wasn't captured in the first few years of sobriety. They couldn't put it in the book. But that wave is the recognizing when you look at your role in things, something else's role in things. And I humbly believe if you get a little hint of its role, you're going to see its role. And it has been huge. Yeah. Yeah. So first requirement is that we be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. On that basis, we are almost always in collision. So on what basis? Self-will. Yeah, that's the basis that puts us in collision with everything else. Yeah. On that basis, we are almost always in collision with something or somebody, even though our motives are good. Yes, exactly. Why is that? Yeah. Why are your motives seemingly neutered or neutralized when your life is run by self-will? Yeah. You can tell people I didn't want to do that thing that you did to them, but you did it to them. And they're sick and tired of hearing your story of sorry because you keep doing it to them. Yeah. On that basis, we are almost always in collision with something or somebody, even though our motives are good. Most people try to live by self-propulsion. Yeah. Each person becomes like an actor. I'm throwing that in to become, who wants to run the whole show. If forever trying to arrange the lights, the ballet, the scenery, and the rest of the players in his own way. See, it will not admit the impossibility. It has a dilemma of powerlessness. It has plans of how other people should be to make it a great life for you, but they're not in cahoots with those plans. They've been driven by their own plans, yeah? So we're constantly confronted with if only, but if only is a huge thing, yeah? I would have been a pro surfer if only I didn't get run over by the car, but I got run over by the car, yeah? You can't, in this world, you can't just leapfrog over that fact, yes? So here, oh yeah, if all this shit would only stay put, things don't stay put, do they? Yeah? This is super wishful thinking. If only people would do as he wished, do they? Do all the people you run into do as you wish? Have they ever done as you wish? Maybe if you had a lot of cash and power, maybe you'd have a lot of ass kisses, but sooner or later they would lose interest. Yeah. Really, have people done what you want, and has everything that you thought would work stay put? No. Do you think it was your fault? No. It's like trying to herd cats. Yeah. Life would be wonderful. Yes. The show would be great. Everybody, including himself, would be pleased, of course. I think my satisfaction is like trickle down economy. If I'm happy, you'll be happy, obviously, because it's a self-centered world. All of us, this same trickle is going on with all of us. For many of us, we're the people we would like to see do what we want. We're every one of us. Yeah. Life would be wonderful. In trying to make these arrangements, our actor may sometimes be quite virtuous. Now, when I came into AA, I had a clear idea of what was bad, and I thought I had a pretty good idea of what was good. I did not think the bad could be virtuous. Yeah. I had a black and white view. I didn't think the bad could be kind and virtuous. I didn't. Yeah. And this surprised me when I read this, when I first came in. And then I saw that bondage of self before the good and bad. Yes. So, but it was an eye opener. It really was. So life would be okay. He may be kind, considerate, patient, generous, even modest and self-sacrificing. Yeah. It's still the actor. It's not you. It's the actor trying to get its way. Yeah. Managing like crazy and not confronting an incredible dilemma of powerlessness. It can't make people do what it wants them to do. And its happiness and satisfaction are based on these outside circumstances. He has no inner core. You're in a spiritless servility. So there's whatever you're resting on is outside and it's in shaky grounds and you're trying to stabilize it at all times and being frustrated and getting resentful for no one's fucking following your commands. What do? Do you learn from it? No, they'll tell you we don't learn from it. And this is one of the biggest proponents I feel of self can't get out of self. I humbly do not believe self can get that it can't get out of self. It just keeps on keeping on. I never think it's going to have its day of reckoning. The innermost you will, but I do not think it does. I think it's a program and it just keeps on keeping on. And if you keep identifying as it, you're going to be keeping on, keeping on. Yeah. Blaming others for your dissatisfaction, blaming situations and circumstances on your spiritual condition. Everything will be determined by outside shit you can't control or manage. You're going to live in a lot of freaking anxiety. Yeah. Then you meet someone who loves you and you have an old idea you're not lovable and you fuck that up also. Yeah. It's insane. Everything you want, you push away in a lot of ways. On the other hand, he may be mean, egotistical, selfish, and dishonest. These are traits. This is not your nature. Yeah. You can be demonstrating a trait of selfishness, but you're not selfish in a way. Yeah. You are not selfish. A lot of stuff can appear through you, but you're really not any of it. Yes. It's an expression, and it's really based on who's running your show. Yeah. On the other hand, he may be mean, egotistical, selfish, and dishonest, but as with most humans, he is more likely to have varied traits. What usually happens? The show doesn't come off. Yeah, very well. He begins to think life doesn't treat him right. Wow, yes. he decides to exert himself more. This is the insane logic of self. It cannot see something's not working. It just keeps fucking working it. Yeah. Oh, my speaking language. Somebody, hold on. I got to do something. It's telling me to stop cursing. This is getting to be like a very authoritarian Zoom thing. Yeah. Yeah. All right. What usually happens, the show doesn't come off very well. He begins to think life doesn't treat him right. He decides to exert himself more. This is shared, isn't it? These are shared feelings. We all know it, don't we? We felt this. We're very familiar with this description, aren't we? We've felt it thousands of times. He becomes on the next occasion still more demanding or gracious, as the case may be. Wow. I'm going to accept my situations, but it's qualified. Yeah. If it goes after 2 weeks, fuck you. Yeah. It's like, it's all transactional. It's insane. He becomes on the next occasion still more demanding or gracious, as the case may be. Still, the play does not suit him. Admitting he may be somewhat at fault, wasn't that word admittance? It was talking about you do it with reluctance. So the parasite of alcoholism may admit with great reluctance that it's not working. Yeah. But he has its little backup, and he's going to say it here. Yeah. Still more demanding and gracious. Admitting he may be somewhat at fault, he is sure that other people are more to blame. Life becomes angry. Wow. He becomes angry, indignant, self-pitying. What is his basic trouble? This one should be highlighted, I think. Yes, everyone knows this. The importance of the next statement. Is he not a victim of the delusion that he can wrest satisfaction and happiness out of this world if he only manages well? That's programming. Yeah. And it believes it can manage well. It's blaming the unmanageability on the people that aren't following its dictates and the circumstances that keep changing. If all these things that have a nature of moving would just stay still and be exactly the way I want it, I would recognize my goal. I would be happy, joyous, and free. Yeah. So it's not put on it, it's put on us. Yes. And situations and circumstances. So if that's the case, if your condition isn't the most important condition, it's the outside conditions, what is something going to do? It's going to try to manage and control those outside conditions, obviously. Yeah. And it doesn't have the wisdom to see you can't herd cats. Yeah. But does it get it? No. But do you get it? Yes. You can see this. But what you're seeing doesn't get it. It's going to try it again and again and again. Yeah. All right. So here, what is his basic trouble? Is he not really a self-seeker, even when trying to be kind? What? I want to say that again. Is he not really, or are we not really self-seeking, even when trying to be kind? Check it out. What? You think being kind is not self-seeking, but the self is before the kindness, not after it. Yeah. So self may be claiming the kindness and using it for other purposes. Yeah. The kindness doesn't change the self changes the kindness. You see? You've got to put it in correct order. The self is influencing the kindness. The kindness may not be influencing the self. So, what is his basic trouble? Is he not really a self-seeker, even when trying to be kind? Does does your head admit that it's being self-seeking through kindness? No. It will hide in kindness and virtue. Yes, it will. And then after a while of being kind, you'll demand the right that some people are kind to you. And then you're going to get fucking resentful when the person you were kind to what isn't kind to you because you didn't know your kindness had a hook in it, which was it was transactional. You would be nice to them with an expectation they would be nice to you sooner or later. And when they're not, you get fucking pissed. Yes or no? Isn't that self-seeking? Their description and diagnosis is quite deep. If you sit and read what they're saying, looking at the problem as a foreign parasitical movement, it makes complete sense that something was doing through you what you wouldn't have done yourself. You have been used just like you're being used now by a higher power. You are being used by a lower power. Yes. Yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm. So is he not a victim of the delusion that he can wrest satisfaction and happiness out of this world? See, I don't believe that that is our delusion. I believe it's the delusion of self. Yes? I don't believe it's yours. I believe it's imposed on us. Yeah. If he only manages well, is it not evident to all the rest of the players that these are the things he wants? And do not his actions make each of them wish to retaliate? Wow. Snatching all they can get out of the show. Is he not, even in his best moments, a producer of confusion rather than harmony? And then the next sentence is, our actor is self-centered. So the actor is something else and self is something else. Yeah. The actor is self-centered. Losing interest in self removes the actor from the self-centeredness, and then you can have knowledge of self, yeah, and see that which used to impose calamity on you in your life as not you. So the possibility of being free from this tyranny becomes available because you're not the tyrant. Yes? It's fundamental, completely fundamental. And what is a basis but a fundamental? Yeah. Our fundamental condition is off. We're on the basis of being something that we're not. Yeah. We're under this bondage of self. and it's throwing everything out of balance. And then the head is trying to manage to find its own balance, which is an imbalance to us. We fucking lose. Yeah. When it's doing well, we're probably not doing well. So it's incredible, beautiful, and do not his actions make each of them or us wish to retaliate, snatching all they can get out of the show? Is he not, even in his best moments, a producer of confusion rather than harmony? Yeah. So there's a statement in the book that says, you and I, we are the manufacturing our own misery. I do not believe that. Yeah. I believe something is manufacturing misery through us. Yeah. Just as compassion and gratitude can be manufactured through us, so can the opposites of misery and incomprehensible demoralization can be manufactured through us. We are not the source of the manufacturing, yes? It's who's running the factory. And there's two options. The infinite, trusting it, or the finite self, or the old employer and the new employer. It's just that simple. You're going to be used no matter what. Will you be put to very good use by one and not be put to very good use by the other? Yes. And are they consistent in the good and the not good? Yes. Yeah. Can you recognize the difference? Yes. Yeah. You will know the tree by the fruit. Yeah. You will know what it feels like when you're being managed by self, and you'll know what it feels like when you're being managed by the higher power. Yeah. You will come into an ease and comfort managed by a higher power, and then you're brought into high anxiety managed by the lower power. Yes or no? What becomes dominant in the lower power realm? Yesterday and tomorrow. What's dominant in the higher power now? Yeah. It's not what's being taught. You need a new teacher. Yes. You need a new teacher, I feel. Yeah. So our actor is self-centered, egocentric. That's pretty damn smart. That's a clear definition or a diagnosis, yes? Extremely self-centered. So to the point we actually take ourselves to be this idea of self. That's insane, humbly. Yeah. Yeah. So I think we should open up, but that's beautiful, I feel. Isn't that? And so if I read this stuff and then things hit me, and now I read it and I see a lot of different meaning in the same thing I used to read earlier on. And this meaning has suited or seems to be the clearest one that I've come to, yeah, or I have been brought to. And here we are just sharing it, yeah, and hope it brings you somewhere where they'll produce an ease and comfort in your life instead of being dominated by outside circumstances and situations. Yeah. Yeah. So is that all right, Martin? We'll start there.
Great. Thank
We
you.
can
Yeah.
always start out. Our actor is self-centered. That's just a beautiful diagnosis immediately. Is the actor self-centered? I mean, is you self-centered? No, but you as the actor of self is self-centered. Yes. Yes. Yeah. And then what happens when you try not to be self-centered? It's more self-centeredness. This isn't about, oh, I've been called to arms. I've got to become less. No, just see it, be aware of it, and let the truth be told to you, not by you. Yeah. Let the truth be told to you, not by you. Yeah. Let it come in instead of trying to fit it with your idea. Let it come in. It may confront your ideas about truth. Yeah? This is about hearing. It's not about marching. It's not about getting ready, girding your loins. It's not about that. It's just about hearing it. Hear it. Do you believe your life run on self-will has been successful, can be successful, and will be successful, or don't you? Has life proven to you beyond a doubt? Yes, many, many things. What's causing such confusion around them is like the purple cloud of an octopus. The parasite just causes you being confused, but somewhere in you, you know you're fucked. You do. You know that being managed by that does not work. Yeah, it drives you to drink and to a lot of other situations. It does. Yeah. So we're here only to share an idea of the nature of the wrong as being foreign to us, because I believe you'll immediately lose interest in all of its shenanigans. You will, because it's not you. And I truly believe because of that egocentric pointing all the time, if you can deny you're the center of that pointing, the pointing will be pointing to something else. Yeah. You will lose interest in self and gain interest in others. Most definitely. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyone, Martin, you want to open it up? Or you
Yep.
want to keep reading? We can keep reading if you like. It's up to
Well,
whatever we want to
there's
do.
no hands up so far, so.
Oh, keep reading then.
Oh, well, Al has his hand up now,
All
so.
right. Al.
Golden opportunity. Hello, everybody. So, you're talking about the convinced, those four convinced, being convinced that I'm at step 3, convinced that my life run on self-will. I'm jumping over your, I know it's your favorite, convinced that self had defeated us. It's become a favorite of mine, and I thank you for pointing that out to me and the rest of the gang over time here. 71 is the fourth convinced, big book, the fourth appearance of the word convinced in this chapter. And this time it says, I hope you're convinced now that God can remove whatever self-will has blocked me off from him. So I'm going to ask you, can you riff on this? I think I'm getting rid of self, or I'm minimizing self, not eliminating. That there's a right amount of self, like right sizing, enough to take a shower and dress becomingly and not curse incessantly. There's a certain amount of self I think it's called self-control or self-discipline. And this one says, we hope, it actually reads, you are convinced, me, that God can remove, not Paul, not the meetings, God can remove whatever self-will has blocked me off. At this point, I'm long overdue from shushing myself.
Yes. That's the last page, 71. Let's start the sentence before it on page 70. It says, in this book, you read again and again that faith did for us what we could not do for ourselves. Wow. I'm going to say that again. In this book, you read again and again that faith did for us what we could not do for ourselves. Yes, a lot of the shit that you did while under the influence, you could not do that by yourself. So faith in self produced those effects. Yeah. Tons of shit you never wanted to do or could do by yourself, you did, being driven by self. But really, faith, yes? So faith in the finite self caused a lot of shit to happen that you could not do for yourselves, nor would do by yourself. Yes? Yeah. And then on the opposite side of duality, the faith put into the infinite has produced and one of our main themes is that something is doing for us what we couldn't do for ourselves, yeah? But on a more grateful and empathy, expansive view. But basically, faith was the driving force of the self-will or the spirit. Yes, it's faith. So in this book, you read it again and again that faith did for us what we could not do for ourselves. Both levels, before recovery and after recovery. It was faith, yeah? What was the faith in? They say it's either two, faith in the infinite or faith in finite self. Yes, it's super clear, I feel. We hope you are convinced now that God can remove whatever self-will has blocked you off from him. Yep. So yes, obviously most of us are convinced of that because we've had many, many demonstrations of just that. Yeah. One of the big things for me was the inability to have a viable relationship with another person. Yes. This program, whatever was blocking that possibly off in my life, that was removed. And now I have the ability to have viable relations with other people. Yes. That was on a big scale. And over again, there's been demonstration and testimony of just that. I'd like to see it applied to the faith in self as that which drove us to do a lot of shit we would never have done by ourselves. Yes? Why not? Yeah, if you're going to give it to one, why not use the same principle to the other? Yeah. And I know why it's not put to the other because of the parasite's dominance. The parasite has you holding the bag for everything that was compelled by it in your life to happen. Yeah. Sweet trick. And we're still living under that weight after 30 years, 40 years, 40 minutes, a month, 3 months, a year. Still living under that weight that we were the doer of something that was done through us. Yeah. Even though we know what it's like to have the wings of gratitude, where we travel lighter with our actions because we believe the higher power is doing through us what we wouldn't do. Why can we not apply that to the lower power? We have the ability, but what's stopping us? What's stopping us? Yeah. Are you held by the gratitude of 40 years ago? No, but you're held by the shame or the guilt of something that happened while you were loaded to this day. Yes? There's something weird going on, and it's not a phenomena. It's formatted, it's manufactured, and it has an intention to bind you to self and bind you to the past and the future as self. It does a damn good job with the past, and we don't know what it's doing with the future. That's a subjective experience everyone's under, yeah? But I know it does a damn good job with the past because you're walking around today believing you were the doer of shit you had nothing really ever to do with. That's insane. Insane. Yeah. Insane.
Yeah, but that insanity, not to forget the but, that insanity works in me so flawlessly. And then I sense in others the sanity working flawlessly. And my insanity says, well, one more meeting, one more Paul, one more book study, one more book on my bookshelf, and then I'll reach the promise. Oh, the tipping point.
Yeah, see, it has you moving to arrive somewhere you already are.
Ah,
Your spirit is a finished condition. It's not, you're not becoming more spiritual. There's no more or less in spirit. It can't be weighed. It can't be measured. Yeah. You're as full of it as you'll ever be. The head just doesn't want to let you know it. That's all. And we have faith in the head. Therefore, we live as if we're bereft or we're poverty. We have a huge spiritual poverty when we're abundantly rich in spirit every day. Yes? It has us convinced that the shit that we did in the past cut us off from the sunlight of the spirit. And we're going to have to move these mountains to get out of the way until then we're in the shadow of the mountain, not in the sunlight of the spirit. It's all bullshit. It's all mental fucking bullshit. Yeah. It's our belief in it. Like it said here, in this book, you read again and again that faith did for us what we could not do for ourselves. Yes. Now you can have faith. That's a complete, I 100% with that statement. But there's two valves that faith goes through. It's either in faith in self, finite self, or faith in the infinite. It is going to do through you what you couldn't do for yourself, on a bad way and on a good way, if you want to look at it in a dualistic manner. Yes? The faith is neutral. It manifests by the vehicle it's put in. So if it's put in the faith on self-will, your life is hardly going to be a success. Yes? If you put it into the spirit, who knows? You'll find out. You may find great joy, not as an end point, but as the way you live day in and day out. Yeah. You can't enumerate it. You can't collect it. You can't tabulate it up every day as if there were coins, but you've lived a day of lightness. Yes. And you've been put to good fucking use without your opinion around it. Yes. Yes. So follow it. Yeah, we hope you are convinced. Now that I would say, we hope you are convinced that the lower power and now the higher power, yeah, is doing all this stuff for you now. But please tell the truth about the lower power, because it's getting a free ride and we're dragging it with us for 40 years of sobriety. It's insane. We're living under its dictates. You are the doer. No matter what happened through you, you are the doer. Yes? Yeah. Well, I'm not budging from this point. I'm not.
Thanks, Daddy-O.
I'm not, because it's unnecessary here. Because everyone wants to water shit down and dilute it. And oh, yes, on a good day, this is true, but on a bad day, it isn't true. No, these are principles. Yeah? The spirit that you are has the ability to outshine circumstances and situations. Yeah? Yeah. You can be tons of kindness, but if it's held as a self, it may not be the kindness you think it is. Yeah? What's before determines what's after, basically. Yeah. So what is before? What wind is blowing your life today? Are you find yourself anxious and concerned, super concerned, and trying to manage your life? Or you can just take a break and realize you're outmatched and ask for fucking help. Yeah, and I mean it. Ask for help. Yeah. And that will become a habit, and it will be based on a principle, and your life will be on a sound basis. Yes? Where you'll have a new attitude and a new outlook and a new freedom and a new happiness. Yes? Instead of having saddled by the role of that actor, you'll be free from that role. Yes? It will, I'm telling you, the head will still direct you and take you to be that same actor it's been directing all its life, but you will not be under that influence. You have recognized something. Yeah? Yeah. And the volume of the head goes down based on interest, lack of interest, literally. It doesn't have any volume knob. It's the listener that makes the music loud. Yeah, you're bound to hear what the head is saying, but you don't need to be listening to what the head is saying. Yeah, yeah. They're different. They're very, very different. And truly, it doesn't have its own volume setting. It's the audience that gives it its volume. So when you lose interest in self, you open yourself up to gain interest in a lot of other possibilities. It's, yeah. Yeah. Self-reliance failed us. What would be the highest form of self-reliance? Taking yourself to be what you're relying on. That's insane to me. Yeah. just insane to me. Well, whatever. Stay sober today, and that opens a door. Don't drink or use today, and possibilities have the chance to grow. If you use today, the possibilities shrink. You got to go to a meeting or something, yes? But if you can call the person up who's working with you before you drink, at that moment, you're a recovered alcoholic. If you call them up after they drink, you're an alcoholic. Yeah, you got to deal with it. As the alcoholic, once again, your possibilities shrink. As the recovered alcoholic, the possibilities keep on growing. Yeah, it's really that simple in a lot of ways. Yes. Do you go on to a philosophy treatise for 40 minutes when someone calls you and they're drunk? No. You realize, what do you say? Go to a meeting. Yeah. Get help. Go to there, go that. There's not much to say. But before they drink, a huge possibility. Yeah. Where do you want to find yourself? After you drink or before you drink? Before. This is all academic if you drink. Yeah. Because the thing's going to take over. And it's like a genie in a bottle. It has more than 3 wishes for you. It has a lot of wishes. And it could be a rough ride, especially if you've had time. People, one of the big things when they leave after time is they're super surprised of how bad it gets. They get completely bushwhacked by the parasite. Yeah, they do. I've watched it. I've lost people who are very close to me after time, to the point that they were for 8 years going in and out, and they ended up taking their life, and their family was happy about it because of the torture was over. They were so sick and tired of their daughter being tortured. They were sort of relieved when it was all over. That's insane. That's not an unusual destination for many of us. It isn't. Yeah. Yeah. So there is a solution. Yeah. And there is a problem. And the problem is foreign to us. And that has a big part to do with the solution. The problem is foreign to us. You do not hate yourself. There's not a you that's you in there hating you. It's something else that hates you. Yeah. It's something else that plays the role of your own worst enemy. It's something else. You can be removed from its influence. You can be removed. You can live out from under the burden and the bondage of self. You can live there. Yeah. You don't have to live with it. You don't have to accommodate it. You don't have to spend hours of therapizing it. You can walk a free person from it if you recognize it's not you, and the thoughts it's influencing are not yours, and the action it compels you to do, you're not the doer of it. Yeah. You take account, you're responsible in this world. But truly, the true responsibility falls really on where your faith is, really. If the faith is in self, good luck. Yeah. If the faith is in the higher power, you'll be wishing other people good luck because you feel fine. You will acknowledge the grace that you're under. You will. I mean, after 37 years, I'm still freshly grateful for what's absent in this life. Truly. I'm unbelievable grateful. I don't even have to get to counting the positives. It's the absence of what is sufficient to fill my gratitude cup to brimming over the brim. The relief from that bondage of listening to this thing day in and day out, not getting that it can't get out of itself. I don't want to hear it. Its 80th plan of how to escape Alcatraz. Or its it's a radical escape or it's well, hey, thanks. I got to get off in a couple of minutes because a friend of mine's working on the Isuzu Trooper outside. I got to check him out. Yeah. All right. Hey, so I'm going to start saying goodbye. Everyone know, unless there's a share or a question. No?
Not anymore. Annette had her hand up, but I'm not sure if you have time for that. Yeah.
You want to speak, Annette? All right. I want to announce that tomorrow night there won't be a talk. Today there is, but tomorrow night, Wednesday night, it's on the website, but there's not going to be a talk. And Thursday recovery meeting is not going to happen. I'm going to be in back east. I got to go back east for 2 days. Okay. Thank you. And all right, let me start saying goodbye to everyone. Martin, thank you for everything. Truly. Yeah, the ship runs quite well with you seemingly at the helm. Stephen Mack on Having Never Left. Great. Raven. Nice to see you, Raven. Axel. Catherine in London. Welcome. Or hello. Diona. You're in good hands, Diona. Roman Mueller, as always. Oh, the radiator. A little cold there? No. No. Shannon Corkery, yes. Mickey, our eternal greeter. Dave W., nice to have you aboard, Dave. Yeah. Betty, Nevada. Alex, nice to see you, Alex. Thanks for lending your attention and interest to this event. Al in Vegas, always a pleasure to see you, Al. Mia, yeah. Vlad, my main man. Nice to see Vlad, Portugal. Rob S. John in Florida. Annette, she's roaming around upstate New York. It's okay. You got a ceiling above you. I don't see any bears or anything. So yeah, you're in good hands. Kathy in Cleveland, always great. Jay, nice to see you, Jay. Very nice to see you, Jay. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Rick Rowe, he's in Toronto also. Nice to see you, Rick. Hey, everyone, I don't think I can get to the next page. I don't know how to do it right now. I don't want to lose everyone. Thank you. If I don't see you face to face, we're one in the spirit. So nice to see you. And John in Florida. Thank you. And we'll be here at 4:30 Pacific time today. If you want to jump within. And we'll be back on when it be on Saturday. So